Thank you, Marilyn. Thanks, everyone, for coming to support traditional virtues in America. As you know, many people like to pretend that there is a divide between economic conservatism and social conservatism. Ironically, we never, ever hear about how there could potentially be a divide between those who are pro-abortion or those who are pro-redistribution. And yet somehow, many people fail to see the fallacy of dividing two wings of the conservative movement. We know better. We understand that we can only have a prosperous economy if we have a virtuous citizenry.
Right.
And for those who fail to understand and recognize this, they need look no further than what has happened in Washington with our fiscal future and what has happened on Wall Street with the financial crisis. Within Washington, we see an elite that has forgotten that it is the servant of the sovereign people, and that it must also, as we do, cherish our children's future rather than trash our children's future beneath generational mountains of debt. This is why the federal government must be restructured for the 21st century, so that it is in accordance with everything that we see in our daily lives, which is this: the movement forward of self-government and liberty.
Yes.
It is wrong to try to prop up the welfare state model of government that is imploding around us every day, when it has the central principle of trying to make people who can take care of themselves dependent on government. As a Republican from the party of Lincoln and Reagan, we understand you cannot empower an individual by making them dependent.
Right.
The true moral course is to support those who cannot help themselves, and to help those who are temporarily seeking again the dignity of self-reliance into a path of a better future where they control their destiny, not some bureaucrat in Washington. When we look at what has happened to our economy, we can talk about necessary tax relief, we can talk about necessary regulatory relief, we can talk about energy policies to maximize our own domestic resources. But make no mistake, the elites of the Wall Street failed bailout banks, who believed they were bigger and more important than you, who believed that you should pay for their greed and misfeasance, have also got to be restructured for the future. Because in this period of great deflation, which is stagnating our economy, unless the Wall Street banks are forced to restructure the way every family and business has had to do to meet the challenges of the 21st century, unless they're forced to recapitalize without your money to do it, and unless credit again flows down to the virtuous, industrious workers and entrepreneurs of main streets across America, we will remain in economic stagnation. This will not occur. This will not occur because, as we have noted, America remains a virtuous free republic, a purposeful republic, as your presence here today proves. And as other times in our nation's history, despite how difficult the obstacles before us, no matter how daunting the challenges to some, especially in Washington or elsewhere, it is the American people who will ensure that the true strength and salvation remains you and the grace of God. Thank you for having me. Thank you for all you do for our great country.